What's going on, fellas? Today we're back again with another crazy video today, doing an in-depth look into Footlocker, how currently it is on a major decline. But firstly, how did they actually get to where they are now? Let's look into it. Make sure to join my Discord, link in bio. Let's get into it. Footlocker didn't originally start as Footlocker. Story goes all the way back to 1879. Woolworth was a store that specialized in selling things for 5 cents, 10 cents. They pretty much sold everything from stationery, seems like jewelry as seen in this photo. So this store is pretty much what Macy's is now, or Kohl's is also pretty similar. So 1879, Woolworth first started. Now 20 years later, Kinney Shoes starts to sell and manufacture shoes. By 1936, it was the biggest chain for shoes in the United States at the time. That didn't last forever, because by 1963, they were sold to Woolworth, which we first started with, the department store company. Right now, other company buys other company. So right now, Kinney Shoes is a subsidiary of the Woolworth company, and they must be doing pretty good since they have this huge building in New York. So it's the later 1960s, and Kinney Shoes decides they want to be into more niche stores. So they decide to open up a store called Susie Casuals Style Co. Now, if you've actually never heard about these stores, that's completely fine, since none of them exist in 2023. Now, I'm not too sure how these other stores did at the time, but in 1974, the first Footlocker was opened in a mall in California. Well, nearly 50 years later, and they're still in malls, which is kind of crazy to me. And a decade later, they also acquired Champs. Everyone knows Champs. It's still open to this day. Now, it's safe to say that these shoe stores were quite successful since they started to rapidly expand in the 1980s and try to get into every single mall in the United States. By this time, the parent company, Woolworth department stores, weren't doing as good as they once used to be, and they ended up closing all of them, and Kinney Shoes was also in decline at this time. By the late 1990s, Kinney Shoes and Woolworth department stores were no more, and the only thing remaining were the Footlockers. And by the early 2000s, Footlocker was the strongest performing line that they had, so they decided to just name the whole company Footlocker. For quite the while, Footlocker was doing well for themselves, but with more increased competition, problems are going to start to emerge from big monopolies like Footlocker. At this point, if you were in a pretty decent sized city and you walked into the mall, you would see a couple stores that were actually owned by Footlocker, and those being Footlocker, Lady Footlocker, and Footlocker Kids. And you would probably see some other stores that were owned by Footlocker, being Champs, WSS, and Foot Action. But after the pandemic, all Foot Action stores were actually shut down due to overlap, and also Lady Footlocker. I don't know why they did this, since they could just put the same stuff in the Footlocker stores. So the over expansion was hurting them real bad, and I don't think they planned out locations very well. And also, you have to think about the internet. If I'm looking for a shoe, let's say I'm looking for an Air Force One, instead of going to the mall, I could just order it online and they will have my size for sure, and I won't need to spend all my time going to the mall. And what happens if they don't even have my size in stock? Then I'm out of luck. Also, there's so much competition. Right next to the Footlocker, there's many other stores that I could go to instead of Footlocker, and those stores actually have good colorways. When is the last time people actually camped outside of Footlockers? Because for years now, I have never seen a good shoe that I would wear at Footlocker. I don't even know who the main audience they're targeting is, because a lot of the shoes they sell, someone could go across the mall and get the exact same shoe at Famous Footwear for like half the price. So people that want to save on money won't go to Footlocker. Sneakerheads that are actually willing to spend their money on shoes, absolutely no reason to go to a Footlocker, since they don't carry any hype shoes like Yeezys. I don't get why they would make this decision after seeing that Yeezy Day was a huge success. So it seems like they are very out of touch with their consumers. So I decided to go to my local mall and visit the Footlocker.
Got all this. Dang. NMDs. That's about it. Oh, they got the Homer Simpson. This is probably the best shoe. Got the Homer Simpson. That is hard. Bro, this is this? What the heck?
Those are the Kobe's.
I know these are the Kobe's. I'm like, why would they put this out, bro? This is why Kobe got mad at this, bro.
Yeah, I would be too.
Look, let's take a look. Blazers. Look, Hirachis. Up tempos. These are sick.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck Taylors. Crocs. A lot of Crocs today.
We're pretty done. Did you vlog?
I'm vlogging a bit.
As you see, the Footlocker doesn't have any good shoes, so I went to a I don't know how to say it, Shack, and they actually had these nice looking threes. They actually had these at every single other shoe store except Footlocker, which is kind of a big disappointment to me. That Footlocker never has heat, and I'm not sure if every single Footlocker is like that, but all they have is those wannabe mainline Jordans, which look bad. But comment below if your local Footlocker looks way better at your mall. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. They don't have any good selections. I could go across the street to Famous Footwear if I want to get a pair of Crocs, or I could even go to Ross for way cheaper than what Footlocker sells them for. Problem is that Footlocker has no identity anymore. People used to shop here for running shoes, basketball shoes, pretty much everything for sports. Even the employees are dressed up in the iconic zebra outfit for sports. All they have is these horrid looking basketball shoes, and they're blaming this on consumer softness. I'm positive that if they did have hype shoes like Yeezys and Dunks in their stores, people would actually go and shop there, but they don't. Currently, they're on track for their worst week since the 2008 recession. Let's be honest here, those corporate people high up in suits are very out of touch. They don't know anything about sneakers. Culture has changed so much in around 10 years. People rather shop online than go to a physical store. Be pros that you could try them on at the store. Let's be honest here. When is the last time you walked into a Footlocker and found a good shoe? As for me, it was around a decade ago the last time I bought something at Footlocker. Now, there is no point in going to Footlocker as it is pretty much obsolete at this point. Tell me, when is the last time you bought something from Footlocker, and if you can remember what shoe it was? Because I remember buying the Nike Free Run, I think it's called 4.0, something like that. But let's be honest here, sneakerheads don't go to Footlocker. People that want to save on their money don't go to Footlocker. People that follow trends don't go to Footlocker. People that play sports could get the same shoes somewhere else. But let's be honest here, no one's shopping at Footlocker, and the economy is doing horrible, and it really shows in their stock. Many sources have been reporting that Footlocker is closing 400 stores, which is crazy. Also closing 125 Champs. This reminds me of how their original stores closed down. Will Footlocker be able to adapt to modern changes, or will they be left behind in the past? So do you guys think Footlocker is going to go out of business? Drop a comment in the comments below. Leave a like. Long history for this company. I didn't think this company was this old. This company is almost as old as the Civil War, which is kind of crazy to think about. Thank you all for watching so much. Make sure to subscribe, like. We're almost close to like 1.4K, I think, which is just crazy. We've been killing it this month, and I'll make sure to upload a lot more. Let's get it.